Hello everyone, I'm Metis Balaska and welcome to the stream. A bit of a rough start yesterday. Also, I noticed that I accidentally skipped Elizabeth when editing my last stream, but we'll try to rectify that. Hey Ayumu, we'll rectify that later. Right now we got the story mode to continue. There. Oh yeah, actually, I did notice that my input was a little too, was a little bit too high. So let's fix that gain to about. Hello.
This program will be brought.
Hello. It's still a bit high. Um. Maybe about 8. Hello? Hello? Yeah, that looks better.
Persona 4
Oh,
Arena Ultimax.
forgot to switch again. I did look up a walkthrough just to make sure I don't waste my time, waste our time with the certain something. So let us resume. Oh no, wait. Um, bookmark. In any case, I need to concentrate on this case for now. I'm sure I'll understand the meaning behind what she said when the time comes. I must proceed. Though this bizarre place looks nothing like the Yasagami High I attended, the building seems strangely familiar as I run through it. Teddy had appeared on the monitor in the music room. From the looks of it, he appeared to be behind what's happening. But I heard Risei's voice over the school's PA system before my fight with Yosuke. If the school works anything like the real one, I can make a good guess as to where Teddy and Risei are.
Maybe the announcement room.
But of course, things aren't that easy. Those invisible wolves keep getting in my way whenever I go. Ugh. That design in place. Yeah, don't tell us where we need to go. Just force us to go there with invisible walls. Am I right, guys? It seems that some of these walls don't let anybody through, no matter if they won or lost their fights. Every single time I run into one, I'm forced to take another path. Have you never played a video game before? It's like my route. It's like my route is already set for me.
I feel like I'm being led somewhere.
I stopped for a moment in the hallway out of the I stopped for a moment in the hallway out of the practice building and mutter to myself while I take a look around. Where are they trying to lead me? At that moment.
You there! You're one of them participants in that Grand Prix thing, right?
A voice that I don't recognize at all breaks me from my eerie reverie. I instinctively jump back and draw my sword in surprise.
Whoa! What's the big idea? You could poke someone's eye out swinging that thing around.
Hello, totally normal students. I turn and see a girl that I've never seen before. Was she part of that crowd? No, she looks like a real person. She was caught by surprise when I suddenly pointed my weapon at her. Although she flinches, her words don't lose any of their intensity. How bold of her. It may seem like an odd thing to say, but it's what suddenly crosses my mind. But this girl doesn't seem to have any intention of attacking me. I sheath my sword, but remain cautious.
Sorry, I didn't mean to startle you.
Sorry ain't gonna cut it. What were you gonna do if you hurt one of the students here, huh? You can't go pulling that stuff without student council approval.
What kind of school approves using a sword?
All right, the jig is up. I'm putting the kibosh on this tournament right now.
Hey, wait, hold on a second. I'm not in this because I want to be. I'm trying to stop the tournament.
I'm trying to act non-threatening, but the girl continues to glare at me. Who in the world is this girl? She's wearing a Yasagami High uniform. She said something about the student council, but I don't recognize her. You don't encounter people here in this world that often. If that person is here, then they're either a persona user or...
Why are you here, by the way? Wait, did you fall inside a TV?
That's right. I may have put it a little differently, but if she can't enter a TV herself, the only possibility is someone threw her in. That was what happened during... that was... Bleh. That was what was happening in the murders from last year.
All inside a TV. What kind of nonsense is that?
She's not aware of it. But if she was as a persona user, I don't see why she'd hide that fact. If she was trying to keep that from me, she wouldn't have come to talk to me like this. Then does that mean she is a victim after all? I carefully choose my word as to avoid provoking the girl, and introduce myself.
I'm Yu Narukami. I was a second year at Yasugami High until last year.
Huh? Last year? But that uniform.
Oh no, this is kind of my usual equipment when I'm in the TV world.
Equipment?
Never mind. Forget it.
Well, if you were only around till last year, I ain't gonna blame you for not knowing. I'm the new student council president. Nice meeting you.
The student council president. If I'm remembering correctly, the student council elections should have taken place just before the holidays. I have no knowledge who won in any of those elections, since I left Inaba before they took place. That reminds me, I didn't have any friends on the student council last year either. This girl may very well be the president. No reason not to believe her.
Now it's your turn to spill. You said you ain't in the tournament because you want to be. Then what are you doing here? And what's this tournament about in the first place?
I feel that if I don't explain things very clearly to her, it will only provoke her further. But trying to tell her everything about what's going on here will only confuse her. I leave out the fact that this place is inside the television, and tell her about the other things that are going on. First, I tell her about Teddy, that a friend of mine is likely the one who set this tournament up. The second, that I encountered some of my friends who were dragged into this as well, but they were acting strangely. And third, that my cousin Nanako, still in elementary school, may have been dragged into this mess. The girl calling herself the student council president seems skeptical while I talk, but eventually she sighs.
If I got this right, you didn't start this, but your friend did. Well, you don't seem like you're lying.
It seems that she somehow grasps the gist of what I'm trying to say. I thank her out of politeness, but she laughs and asks why I'm thanking her. There's still one more difficult task left at hand. How do I make her understand that all this is within another world, one accessed by going through a TV screen? Not exactly the easiest sell, is it? She still appears to be energetic, but it doesn't change the fact that she's in danger. I have to get her out of this world, no matter what.
Hey, that sounded like it came from the gym. I ought to tell you to go home, but I get that you're worried about your sis. Come on, let's go check it out.
We both start running at the same time. I reach my full running speed when then something occurs to me. I'm surprised to see this Miss President keeping pace right beside me. I'm sure that's not going to play into anything at all. Just standing in this world would be strenuous for a normal person, but she doesn't even seem out of breath. She's quite impressive. I take a moment to quietly praise the girl running next to me. Give me a sec, the gain still seems a bit high. Maybe 7? Yeah, straight up 7 seems good. Just let me know if it's too loud or too low. I'll try and fix it. We bursted to the gym where all the noise came from, but there's no one here. Instead, we see huge piles of stacked chairs. They're twisted and entwined everywhere on the open floor of the gym, forming huge towers that reach almost to the ceiling.
What is this? Who'd go to all this trouble?
The girl stares up at the chair, seemingly dumbfounded. Suddenly, the monitors in the gym flicker to life. And as I suspected, Teddy appears, again in that costume.
Oh, are you on a hot date, Sensei? Well, that's fine with me, of course. But shouldn't you keep your mind on the fighting? Whoa, you look so mortified. That's the face I was hoping to see.
He's not saying anything completely straight, but he is obviously hinting that he knows I'm worried about Nanako. I know that saving Nanako is important, but I can't leave Miss President here alone and abandon her to this world either. Still, I feel Teddy's word is causing me to doubt myself. Miss President raises her voice.
Hey, you! You're the ringleader of this mess, aren't you? What's the idea? Raising a ruckus like this without running it by the student council. Pack it in and clean all this up already.
She speaks as fast and clearly as she had when I first met her. After getting a clear look at her, I feel like I've come to realize where she gets her courage from. She truly wishes to protect her school. Her strong awareness of her duty is surpassing her fear. But Teddy on the monitor looks annoyed and sneers at Miss President. It's incredibly detestable. I can't believe that Teddy can even make such a malicious expression.
What's that tiny thing? I'm in the middle of an important conversation with Sensei. A yappy little mutt like you should be muzzled and sit in the corner. Sit, puppy, sit.
Yikes. He has absolutely no intention of dealing with her seriously. Miss President turns bright red in humiliation from being brushed off like that. This is enough. I take a step forward to put myself between the monitor and Miss President. Leave this to me.
I'll take it from here. It's all right. There's nothing to worry about.
Miss President's lips are trembling. She must be angry that there's nothing she can do herself. I don't want that anger to be in vain, so I turn to face Teddy on the
That
monitor.
was pretty harsh, Teddy. Hard to believe a womanizer like you would say such things.
Huh. What's so attractive about a shameless liar like her?
Liar? Do you know something about her?
The way he said that makes it sound like there's some history between the two of them. But as usual, he doesn't bother to give any details as to his answer. My mouse is in the way, I'm sorry.
Come on, Sensei. Your opponent's getting tired of waiting for you. With the next challenger, come on down!
After that line, another cloud of smoke rises from the floor. But this time, it is Yukiko who appears.
Oh, thank goodness you're safe. What's the matter?
It's nothing. Are you all right? Has anything odd happened to you?
Odd? No, I don't think so.
Yukiko seems alarmed to see me in a defensive posture. I feel my shoulders relax in relief as I shift my weight to stand normally. It seems that she hasn't been affected like Yosuke had. I didn't think I'd be that tense though. Now that's the Yukiko I remember. She's as sharp as always, exactly when we need her. She's not being confused. If she's not being confused, then I can immediately ask for her help. Pardon? I try to explain what I need from her.
Might be in here. I'm heading to the announcement room where Teddy is. I need you to protect this girl from me. She might be a victim of all this.
I motion towards Miss President standing next to me. Yukiko looks at me in surprise. I don't blame her though. But what Yukiko said next was even more surprising.
Why do I have to do that? It's not like I know her or anything.
Wow. I'm not going to help her because I don't know her? Is that really what she's saying? I can understand that she might be cautious when meeting someone for the first time, but would Yukiko really think that way? It's got to be the same as with Yosuke. The same uncanny sense of wrongness is coming back to me when I hear Yukiko speak.
Yukiko, not you too. Calm down and listen to me. Can you understand what I'm saying?
Huh? What are you saying all of a sudden? I can hear you clearly. What did you mean by you too?
When I try to question her, Yukiko's expression returns to normal. I can't tell anymore. She doesn't look like she's being controlled by someone. Am I overthinking this too much? At the very least, she doesn't seem enthusiastic about this P1 Grand Prix.
It's probably a trick the enemy is playing on us. They're trying to get us to fight each other. I'll say it one more time, Yukiko. I'd like you to protect this girl for me.
Sorry, but I don't know how to put this. It just feels like you're being really selfish.
What? Why do you draw that conclusion?
You always help people who have nothing to do with you, and I admire that. But where does that leave us? It's always your friends who get put in danger because of your self-centeredness.
I'm used to hearing her voice, but her words are scathing. I'm convinced now. There's no obvious change in her attitude like there had been with Yosuke, but something must be warping Yukiko's words too. The words may seem like a sound argument, but she means something else. I don't care if someone who isn't related to me gets hurt. That's definitely not something Yukiko would say. The real Yukiko would never say something that disrespects the value of a life in that way. Don't be deluded. Whatever happened to Yosuke is happening to Yukiko too. I I don't understand the details, but Yukiko had a complete change of heart.
Yukiko.
What the? You could?
When I draw my sword, Miss President quickly tries to stop me. But I can't answer her right now. If the battle will clear up the pointless misunderstanding between us, then the time to fight is now.
Ooh, now that's our senpai. You'll show no mercy, not even to a girl if it's for your own goals. You're a real bastard with a sister complex. Keep it up and bring 'em all down.
Oi. I ignored the tones being delivered in Risei's voice. Even if our words aren't getting through to each other, even if our words aren't getting through to each other and we have to fight without understanding what's going on, we'll come to an understanding later. I have to believe, both myself and my friends. I hold my sword to the side to protect Miss President, who is standing behind me.
Sorry, but you need to stay back. Whatever you see here, try to stay calm. Promise me you won't run away.
What happens next will probably surprise her greatly, but I doubt Miss President will run away. She's already shown me how strong her determination is. I glance at her over my shoulder. Although she looks worried, she still gives me a slight nod of agreement. Now, time to do this. I must end this as quickly as possible.
Persona.
I concentrate all my senses to summon my strength of heart, my persona Izanagi. If I allow myself to go easy on Yukiko, she will surely defeat me. Yukiko smiles faintly and takes her battle stance. She resisted the idea to protect Miss President, but she seems to have no qualms whatsoever about fighting me. There's definitely something else controlling her.
Come, Konohana Sakuya.
Yukiko's black hair forms graceful arcs in the air as her persona. Konohana Sakuya rises behind her. That's right. The usual Yukiko should have a beautiful heart. That's right. The usual Yukiko should have a beautiful heart like this. Wait for me. I will save you.
Finally! Fight!
Izanagi! Persona!
Ow! That was a close one.
Close battles. You both fought well.
There are joke endings in these particular story modes. I forget which ones are which, though. I forget who exactly had joke endings. I mean, I think there are like 4. I don't remember entirely. I know. I think like Kanji has one. I think I know Yukiko has one. I believe it's either Akiko or Chie has one. Maybe both. I'll have to check the walkthrough when we're done.
The winner is you, Senpai! What an utter thrashing!
I love all this animosity!
Good God.
These cocky, self-righteous friends showing how they really feel by beating the crap out of each other. That's the real thrill of the P1 Grand Prix!
I don't care to hear any more of Teddy's jests. I still have reservations about fighting against my friends, but I now know that there is no other way to save them. I'm resolved to do what must be done. Also, there's no knowing if Teddy and Rise may have been affected just like Yosuke and Yukiko had. If they are, there's no use in trying to talk them through the talk to them through the monitor like this. That's the conclusion I have come to. But Miss President seems to have other ideas.
How much further are you gonna push this? Why are you doing it anyway? These guys are friends. What's so much fun about making friends fight each other?
Miss President vents her frustration at Teddy's image on the monitor. But I was a bit surprised at how she worded it. She seemed more upset than she was that he was making friends fight each other, not why he had dragged the entire school into this mess. We've only just met her, but she clearly sympathizes with us and understands the pain we're going through. I'm embarrassed, but proud at the same time. A girl with such compassion would be a great student council president. It's no wonder she was elected to represent the student body of Yasogami High.
It's all right. Thanks, though.
It's not all right. This is.
She's worked up, and she's still worked up, and she lashes out at me. Perhaps her heart is a little too honest. But her anger sets my mind at ease. She's right. That General Teddy is doing nothing. What General Teddy is doing right now, cannot be forgiven. I glare at the monitor.
Sorry, but you're not getting your wish.
What?
Did you think this would be all it took to break us apart? That it would make us hate each other? Sorry to say, but that's a huge mistake on your part. I believe in my friends. They'll never get taken in like that.
You're so stupid! What kind of sensei are you?
I'm warning you now. If you really are Teddy, then we'll get you back to normal no matter what it takes. Even if it costs us our lives. But if you're an imposter, hiding behind Teddy's face, I will make you pay for toying with us.
Teddy scoffs and turns around. The monitor suddenly switches off. Suddenly turning on us without any sign of remorse. That's not like Teddy at all. No, he's most likely not the real Teddy. Seeing the anger in his face only strengthens my suspicions. Straightens? What was I saying? Someone might be taking Teddy's form and to make it look like he is the one committing these acts.
That girl's come around.
I immediately rush to Yukiko's side.
Yukiko, are you alright? I'm sorry I couldn't go easy on you.
No, it's okay. You weren't your usual self, but I could tell by your eyes that there was something going on. I'm sorry too. Did I hurt you?
Kinda, yeah. I sure wouldn't want to get into it with you again.
I try to pass it off as a joke, and we look at each other and laugh. Things are going the same way as they had with Yosuke. It's becoming clear now.
Hey, did I say things that offended you earlier?
Yes. You did.
Yukiko hesitates and says that remembering it is a difficult experience. What in the world did my illusion say to her? I bet it was something horrible. Whoever is doing this is certainly finding the most annoying way of getting us to fight. but what I supposedly said to her doesn't matter. Yukiko is still hesitant to bring it up, so I tell her not to worry about it.
I don't need to know what I said. I just wanted to see if my guess was right. It looks like our enemy has the power to confuse our senses. My first opponent was Yosuke, and he told me a similar story after we fought.
Huh? You said something bad to Yosuke-kun too? What did you tell him?
You sure you want to know?
You don't want to know. If I'm the only one admitting to what happened, and that's not fair, is it? But that curiosity is in line with the Yukiko I know. I evade the issue with a smile and call out to Miss President, who's standing behind us.
What kind of people are you?
Oh, right. We used our personas.
Yeah, we should at least explain to her what's going on.
She did say everything that had just happened. This would be a good opportunity to tell her everything. I introduced Miss President and Yukiko to each other and fill in the parts that I had left out of my previous explanation. I tell her about the personas. I tell her that we're actually in a world inside the television. And I tell her how the scenery here changes according to the hearts of the people who enter it. She looks doubtful while I'm talking, but considering that she has just seen our personas only moments ago, she doesn't immediately deny it. Still, it seems she can't accept it all either. She crosses her arms as if lost in thought. On the other hand, it seems that Yukiko didn't know that Yasogami High had a new student council president either. Yukiko apologizes for not having paid attention to the elections in April.
That's it in a nutshell.
So, that's what you meant by falling into a TV.
Yeah, which makes me believe this school could be a part of your mind that's materialized.
This school came from me? That's a lot to swallow.
I'm not surprised. Why is it different this time around, though? Usually the victim's shadow appears first.
That's right. I had doubts about that too. There's a reason why it's dangerous for people who can't use their personas to enter this world. Besides the obvious reason, such as not being able to escape and being unable to protect themselves from shadows, a person's shadow separates from them. The shadows that split off are strongly attached to the original people, and they come the shadows that split off are strongly attached to the original people they come from, and will try to harm them in order to become independent entities. I hadn't given it much thought since Miss President seemed so energetic, but it's still possible that this has happened to her as well. I put this together with the conversation I had with Teddy a moment ago, and come to a conclusion.
Teddy, who's hosting this tournament? What if he's actually this girl's shadow?
Huh?
I noticed he got agitated when I called him an imposter. A fake Teddy would mean he's someone else using Teddy's form.
I see. If this place reflects Miss President's heart, her shadow must be here. And right now, the strongest candidate is...
That's right. If we both saw an illusion, then at the very least the enemy has the power to delude our senses and make us see and hear things that aren't there. On top of that, it can alter what it can alter what others hear us say and see us do. If it can do that, then I can easily see that our enemy can use that power to change its appearance. It means that means it could be impersonating Teddy and leading in this tournament. That still leaves the question as to why it would take on the appearance of someone it doesn't know. I've seen shadows in the past that took on bizarre appearances, but this is the first time I've seen one impersonating an existing person. Does the shadow have some kind of objective? When I come to my senses, I see that Miss President has turned pale and is staring down at the ground. All the talk of shadows in another world doesn't seem to be reaching her, but she seems troubled that the thought that she might be causing all this trouble. I'm about to tell her that the actions of her shadow aren't her fault, but Miss President rises to her feet.
I'm gonna check out the announcement room. That General Teddy's behind the whole shebang, right? And if he came from me, then I gotta own up to the responsibility. As student body president, I can't let this go.
Wait, you're being reckless. We'll take care of the shadow. You need to...
What? Get out of this TV world? And how am I supposed to do that? Go on. Show me the door.
Well...
Her eyes are filled with the fires of determination. But just as her eyes are filled with the fires of determination, just as they had been when I first met her. Her sense of responsibility and awareness of her duty say that she will never back down.
Your little cousin's in the announcement room, and you're gonna go save her, right? I might not be as strong as the two of you, but I'm no slouch in a fight. Wouldn't it be better if we went together?
No, don't you understand? This world is...
I know it's dangerous, but there's gotta be something only I can do to help. Hell, that aside, I can't leave after causing so much trouble. Making friends fight each other. I'm going on ahead. You don't want to waste time arguing, yeah?
Miss President, Miss President declares in a voice that brooks no argument and takes off running. Yikes! I wasn't expecting her to behave rashly like this. I can't not read suddenly. I remember how fast she can run. If I'm going to go after her, I need to go at once, or I'll lose her.
Please, you have to go after her.
Yukiko sees me hesitate and knows exactly what to say. She's right. There's so much we don't understand, but there's no way the investigation team can let a victim run off to die. Yukiko ignores the fact that I've been leaving her here alone and tells me to follow the girl she's only just met. This is the exact opposite of the behavior she'd been displaying before the fight. Now that is the Yukiko Amagi I know. I'm ashamed that I had even slightly let myself be confused by the way I heard her speak before, and I answer her.
I believe in you.
Yukiko nods to me, and I turn and begin running as fast as I can. I have to rely on the faint echoes of footsteps ahead to pursue Miss President through the school. I can't use my memories of the school in order to navigate because the invisible walls are everywhere, but the announcement room is upstairs. That obviously limits the path that she can take. I will catch up to her no matter what. I've been running after Miss President for a while, but I still can't catch sight of her. She's so fast, it's almost supernatural. I even begin to think that her path may not be hindered by the invisible walls. Wait a second. Now that I think about it, she's not a participant in the G1 Grand Prix. She didn't appear in the introduction video, and even though she'd been there when I faced off with Yukiko, she wasn't affected by the rules. Could she be able to walk through these walls? If so, then catching up to her will be quite difficult. Just as I'm thinking this, suddenly a blue door opened in my path. I've seen this before. This is the entrance to the Velvet Room. I don't have time to deal with this, or so I think. But when I consider the timing of its appearance, I can't help but feel that there must be a reason for it. I make up my mind and reach for the door. As I walk through the door, I feel a slight sense of lightheadedness, and I close my eyes reflexively. When I open my eyes, I'm seated in my usual position, and Margaret is smiling quietly at me, as if nothing is different. When she sees that I noticed her, she speaks as if aware of my impatience.
You seem flustered, but time has no meaning here.
Margaret politely points this out, knowing that I am in a hurry. Time is meaningless, huh? I thought that I had figured out a few things about this room, but it seems as there's still more for me to learn about it. If time doesn't pass while I'm in this room, then I should concentrate on what she's about to tell me. Once again, if I'm reading, as if reading my thoughts, Margaret
It
smiles.
seems you've emerged victorious and have come away with a piece of the truth. Though you are in a garden of deceit, you have the vision to go forward. Very impressive.
Is that student council president's shadow really the cause of all this then?
Who can say? All I know is that you are getting ever closer to the truth. There is one thing I can tell you.
Margaret's golden eyes are fixed on
That
mine.
girl's shadow is the cause of this misfortune. She will face her trial. But it's separate from your fate. You have your own trial to overcome. Keep that to heart.
My own trial.
I don't mean to, but I repeat what Margaret had just said.
Everyone sees various things in you that draw them to you. Salvation, hope. I myself find fascination in watching over you. Fate may not be the author of your trials, but you are destined to be tested.
Margaret smiles mischievously and nods towards me. Another slight feeling of lightheadedness passed, and I return to that otherworldly school. The blue door is nowhere to be found, as if it had never been there to begin with. I look up. I still don't understand what my own trial is supposed to be. But for some reason, my mind has cleared up a bit. In any case, I need to keep chasing after Miss President. And now I immediately see a recognizable feature. Her long ponytail. Well, I found her.
What? It's too dangerous to go alone.
Miss President turns around and in response to my voice. She's smiling. I wasn't expecting that at all.
I'm impressed that you managed to catch up to me so quick.
This calmness. Had she expected that I would follow her? I'm beginning to feel like she's toying with me. But I understand now. Nothing I can say to her will change her mind. There's no helping it then.
Promise me that you won't leave my side, and you can't do anything rash. If you can't agree to those terms, I'll have to force you into protective custody. This is a matter of life and death for you.
Sure thing. Then let's get to that announcement room together.
I thought that I'd be able to keep her in check by saying that her life was in danger, but she doesn't seem to take any notice. She just shrugged and accepted my proposal. She's quite hard to deal with. I'm not sure if she knows how I'm feeling, but she speaks up.
Mind if I ask you something?
What is it?
There's a moment of silence. Just as I'm about to ask her to go on, Miss President continues.
It's tough, being forced to fight your friends, huh? Sorry. You don't gotta answer.
She must still be thinking about my fight with Yukiko. True, I'm slightly hesitant to talk about any of this, but it's a question that must be answered. That's how it feels to me.
You're right. If I could avoid it, I would. But I believe in my friends.
You mean your friends won't hate you after the fight? Or you think they'll understand that you don't really want to fight?
I don't know. Both, maybe. I mean, there's no way we'd fight each other without some kind of reason.
Oh yeah, for the record, Persona users tend to attract other Persona users, so I'm sure that's not going to play into anything at all. I study Miss President's face. But when she opens her mouth, she has an unexpectedly a gloomy look in her eyes.
You had to kill each other.
Yikes. That's a question. Kill each other. I truly hadn't anticipated that question. I'm caught off guard by how I and even considered it. It's true, there's no guarantee that this General Teddy won't suddenly decide to make a fight to the death on a whim.
Sorry, that was probably over the line.
I wouldn't let it happen.
Sorry about that. Is there a log? Yeah, backlog. Sorry, I was probably over line. I don't know why I said that. Even if I was forced into such a situation, I would never follow that order. That's all I can say right now. But after hearing my answer, Miss President casts her eyes down again. After seeing that behavior, how do I put this? I felt a sense of incongruity. Why could that be? Something doesn't feel like her. Could Miss President be carrying some unimaginable burden that she has yet to confide in us? Is it so heavy that she would ask us that question of me? Speaking of which, if General Teddy does turn out to be a shadow, what does that mean about whatever repressed thought she truly has? Suddenly it seems that her courageous and cheerful demeanor are a mirror image of that, and a slight sense of fear chills my spine. My thoughts raced through my head while we walked down the hallway. Ow!
What are you doing?
I thought I broke my nose for a moment. It's that invisible wall again. Even though I should have been expecting them, I relaxed my guard and walked right into one. I hold my nose and wave away Miss President, who looks concerned.
There's an invisible wall. I don't think I can go through here.
An invisible wall? Oh, that must have been why you broke out of the mime act every now and then.
I love that descriptor.
Well, if I can pass through, it must only be blocking the tournament fighters. This world sure is out there.
Miss President walks right through the plate I bumped into. So that must be the case. As I imagine, Miss President is unaffected by these walls. Is it because she's not one of the fighters in the Grand Prix? Of course, as General Teddy really is her shadow, maybe the normal rules don't apply to her. The entrance of the school building is ahead of us. But perhaps worst of all is that the wall I had just walked into was blocking me from reaching there. I'll just have to find some other way. No, there were walls there too. And the same can be said for the direction toward the entrance. A thought crosses my mind as I check back the way I had come. It's as I thought. Another invisible wall has formed where I just passed, and I can't go back. With walls in every direction, there's nowhere I can go. I'm trapped. And if I can't go anywhere, this can only mean one thing.
Be careful. This probably means...
The moment I call out to Miss President, General Teddy appears on the monitor in the entryway. It means my third round of the G1 Grand Prix is about to begin.
Is your snout okay, Sensei? Jeez, you're such a klutz.
You're still using that form? It's getting old. Why don't you just show your true self?
Boy, you've gotten peevish. I don't have any idea what you're talking about.
Sure you don't. I was intentionally trying to rile him up, but he wasn't falling for it. It looks like I'm not going to get him to reveal anything that way. I quickly changed tactics.
Okay. So who's my next opponent?
Ooh, now you're getting into the spirit of things. Let me guess, you're starting to enjoy beating up your friends? Okay, with the next challenger, come on down!
If I remember right, the general doesn't pick up my intention and loudly yells at what appears to be his pre-battle catchphrase. Smoke pours out. And who should appear from the smoke but the person I was expecting to see? 4 of us entered the TV together. I've already fought against... sorry. I already fought against Yosuke and Yukiko. Then...
That's what I thought. You're the last of us, after all.
Yeah, I had a feeling you'd be next, too.
Che laughs along with me. For the moment, there doesn't seem to be anything wrong with her. Words and actions, with her words and actions, but I can't let my guard down around her. After all, I felt the same way when I encountered Yukiko, too. But, as they say, the third time's the charm. I have to see if Chie is in the right mind. I decide that the best way to do that is to be calm and start a conversation with her.
Chie, you know what they're doing, right?
Before I can begin to explain, Chie cuts me off.
Yeah, I know. The stuff we say gets twisted around so we end up fighting each other, right? Don't worry. You're the son of a bitch who left us as soon as the last case ended, but you're still our good friend.
Wow!
I mean, you have it easy. You're just fighting your friends. I had to keep killing over and over, all because of you humans!
I'm sorry, what? Now this is obvious. Chie is clearly not herself. It's so blatant, her words don't offend me at all. Moreover, it's not just out of character, but Chie would never say anything like that. And you humans? That's as good as confessing that you're not human. Oh, right. Carnivore, was it? This president is watching us from nearby. She looks more dumbfounded than worried. Still. What Chie said at the end caught my attention. I had to keep killing over and over.
Stuff about killing, huh? Miss President was talking about it earlier, too. This must be.
It hurts. It hurts. Hurts.
This one sounds like a haunting type of thing, doesn't it?
I'll give you a taste of the pain they put me through!
She's not even trying to sound like Chie anymore. I can't even begin to understand what she's talking about. Yes, yes, it hurts. Yeah. But if a shadow is intentionally making people say these things, what does this mean about Miss President? Killing each other? All because of humans? What kind of secret past could the new president, student council president of Yasugami be harboring? No, now's not the time for this. I'll have to look into this after we've cleared up the confusion between us. I ignore her words and draw my sword. Immediately, Risei's voice echoes through the area, as if she was waiting for this.
Well, round 3 star may have a slight advantage. Will you, Senpai, all talk and no skill, manage to eke out a win this time? Let's get this show on the road. Ready?
Here we go. Oh yeah, bookmark first.
Finally. Fight.
Ow.
Alright, it's over. Time to leave.
I was expecting that to be a bit harder. I won. I lower my sword and begin slowing my breathing. I don't believe I've injured Chie too badly. Considering this was my third time having to do this, I feel like I'm pretty good at not having to seriously wound people in a fight.
Wipe that smug look off your face. This isn't fun at all.
General Teddy has seen that the fights ended without any injuries and spits his words through the monitor. The image on the monitor then disappeared without anything further. Let him say whatever he wants. I fought all the friends I came into the TV world with, and none of them were hurt. All that's left is to head to the announcement room and make sure Nanako is safe. And then we'll be able to go home. I walk over to Chie and help her off the ground. She's come back to her senses, and she seems a little sheepish. Should I actually do it? You know, you did go through her pretty easily. Yeah, I did.
Hey, that's mean. Man, you are strong, though. I'm kind of shocked at how much of a difference there is between us.
Look who's talking. I've never been kicked around so badly in my life. I mean, he didn't kick me that much. I wait for Chie to reach her feet and then tell her everything that's happened and up to this point.
So the others are safe, too? What a relief. I was pretty worried.
Chie is so relieved that she sits down on the floor once more. I can't help but smile at that reaction. She really does care about her friends. Yeah, these are the people I believe in. Seeing us exchanging smiles like nothing was wrong, Miss President sounds perplexed when she speaks up.
You guys really are tight, aren't you? Makes me jealous.
Well, we did spend a whole lot of time together last year because of that case. Sure, I was surprised to hear such weird stuff coming from him, but I know he'd never say any of that to me.
Every time they mention this, I gotta wonder what exactly I said.
Wait a sec. Who are you?
Oh, I forgot about that. I quickly introduce Miss President and tell Chie that she may be a victim of this case. But Chie looks again at Miss President suspiciously.
Huh? The student council president? You mean ours? That doesn't seem right. I remember the new president being a guy.
What?
What are you saying? I'm the student council president. Who else would I be?
I'm pretty sure, though. Maybe if you told me your name, I'd remember.
Who would have thought Chie would have been paying attention to that?
My name...
Miss President stops moving. What's going on? She can't tell us her name? That's not that strange a question, is it? But for some reason, Miss President seems unable to answer. I sense some kind of incoherent melancholy from her. Interesting. She said we were saying weird things. Yeah. She and I share a tense glance.
My name's...
What's wrong?
My... memories... No, I don't want to fight anymore. Why do we have to kill one another?
Kill one another. I gasp when I hear the words fall from her mouth. I don't know what's crossing her mind right now, but she's definitely not acting normally. I glance at Chie, then try to approach Miss President in the hopes of calming her down. Whoa! Without any warning, Miss President begins flailing her arms, as if trying to ward off demons that only she can see. Chie reaches out and touches her in concern. Miss President's arm catches Chie and easily knocks her aside. What power! I barely managed to catch Chie before she slams into a concrete wall. Still, this sudden breakdown. What in the world happened to Miss President? Once I've helped Chie back to her feet, we carefully approach her from both sides. This will be a little rough, but it can't be helped. We can't ask her anything while she's like this. But at the moment...
What?
No way.
Before I know it, Miss President's flying through the air. She was jumping. For a moment, I can't comprehend what I'm seeing. This is no ordinary leap. She was at a standstill, but now her entire body is suddenly higher than my head. Her jumping ability is unbelievable. She and I look up in astonishment as Miss President kicks off the ceiling to change direction and lands at a full run.
Wow. Who is that girl? Did I say something to offend her? She did mention something about her memories.
Come to think of it, her memories did seem a little muddled. Maybe she was on the verge of getting them back.
What kind of memory would make her go nuts and run away like that?
But all of the... yeah, they do. But all of us jump over people's heads in battle. Yeah, we do. I can't answer Chie at all. What if you had to kill each other? I hear Miss President's sad voice in my head. Chie apparently wasn't expecting me to answer her, and she continues.
Make sure you rescue her, okay?
And that's not even using the super leap, yeah. Fighting game logic. But I guess this is the visual novel portion, so they're going off the original RPG logic. Her voice is strong and confident. To drive the point home, she pokes my chest with her finger, as if ordering me. Even though she might be in danger herself, she's still worrying about others. All my friends are like that. That makes me really happy right now. I ask Chie if she's all right on her own. And she fires back, "Let me worry about that." I nod to her and begin running after Miss President once more. To be honest, I feel sorry for the poor sod who tries to attack her. I nod to her and begin running after Miss President once more. I will save her, no matter what. the president being in Japan has a Brooklyn and New York City accent, and I believe that's like a translation case. And it's like I think the idea is they're trying to depict a Kyoto accent, because as I understand, Kyoto dialect is like different from other places in Japan. So I think they're trying to emulate that in an English manner. I attempted to strike at the walls with my persona, but nothing happened.
So many invisible walls, one after another. Miss President can pass through them. I don't know if I can keep up the pursuit.
The announcement room is still my destination. There's no way to know if that's where Miss President is headed at as well. But if there's a shadow waiting for me there, I need to get there anyway. Teddy and Rise should be in the announcement room. And if Nanako is being held captive, that's where she'd be as well. I have to keep running, but yet another wall blocks my way. At first, I think this is a dead end. I realize that I cut through a classroom and come out on the other side of the wall. It's forcing me to enter the room, rather than letting me go straight. This probably means... I brace myself and put my hand on the door. The moment I step inside, a familiar voice echoes in my mind.
Hi. Senpai! Can you hear me? Please answer me!
Holy crap,
That voice. Is that you, Rise?
Whoops, sorry. The real one? Her voice isn't coming from the PA system. I'm actually hearing it in my head. This has to be the work of Rise's persona.
Thank goodness. I've been all alone since that weird fake Teddy captured me. And then you were all fighting each other.
I can hear the relief in her voice. She sounds so different from the insensitive and rude voice that had been coming from the PA system. This is indeed the Rise I know.
Where are you now, Rise? Can you locate where I am?
I'm sorry, I don't think there's time. I'm stuck in the announcement room. Please, Senpai, you have to hurry. If you don't, he'll...
Rise! What's wrong, Rise?
Well, crud. There's no answer. The communication has been cut off. Has something happened in the announcement room? My heart begins racing. The enemy made us fight each other or as participants in this tournament, but they had captured Rise as well. Yes, Sans and Undertale has a country bumpkin accent in Japanese. Yeah, I can imagine that, actually. It's clear to me that they must have been worried about her using her persona's powers to tell us the truth. But that's not important right now. If she was just captured to prevent her from contacting us, then the enemy must think Rie as being less valuable than those who had to fight. She sounded okay, but who knows what might happen to her now. I have to hurry.
For interrupting while you are lost in thought.
Aegis! P3 best girl! A hand brushes my shoulder. In surprise, I jump away and draw my sword. I can't believe that I let myself get lost in thought that I can't believe that I let myself get so lost in thought that I didn't notice someone until they touched me. This is the second time I've let myself get so distracted. I've gotten used to having my friends with me while we investigated last year. I can't pay attention to the entire world on my own. I need to brace myself. I look up and see another unfamiliar face. A girl with blonde hair and striking blue eyes. P3, best girl! Wait, a girl? Her face and voice seem human-like, but the rest of her, there's metal everywhere, all over her body. For a moment, I wonder if this is an elaborate costume, but I can see the interior framework of her body where joints connect.
I didn't mean to startle you.
You're,
It's nice to meet you. My name is Aegis. And no, I am not human.
P3, best girl. I love Aegis.
You are the one from the introduction video, listed as the Sister Complex Kingpin of Steel, Narukami-san. Correct?
She still says that so nonchalantly. The question catches me off guard. I wasn't expecting a complete stranger to call me that. And did she say she wasn't human? It's, well, Yosuke called me by that stupid title. When Yosuke called me by that stupid title, I knew it was a joke. But when a stranger says it, it sounds like they truly believe it. This is a pain.
Nanako is important to me, but calling it a complex is stretching things.
No, wait a second. I was trying to play it off, but I ended up blurting out Nanako's name anyway. Calm down. I need to take this conversation away from the subject. I clear my throat and try to start over.
Aegis-san, was it? Why are you here?
Our primary objective is the destruction of shadows, but we have come to this world on a different mission.
The destruction of shadows?
She fights shadows? But how can she do that if...
And does that mean...
Yes, I have a persona as well. Though my body is a machine, personas are the strength of the heart after all.
Just as I thought. I'm surprised to find another Persona user outside of my group of friends. And a robot on top of that. Wait until you meet the dog. I can't come to grips with all of this. From the way we were talking, she seems just like a normal person, only in an interesting suit. Sure, I've seen stories on the news about robots looking uncannily like real humans, but isn't something like that far beyond those? Still, I can't help but believe the evidence of my. I can't help but believe the evidence of my own eyes. I mean, I've been hopping in and out of the TV for the past year. Who am I to say what's strange or not? Perhaps the technology behind her creation has supernatural roots of its own. I find myself growing more and more interested in how she came to be here, but I have to put that aside for now. There's something I need to find out from her first. The P1 Grand Prix is so similar to the events of last year, but to think that it would involve someone like her. I don't have a clear picture of everything that's happening, that's for sure. I calm myself, then ask her what I feel would tell me what she's doing in this world.
What is this mission of yours?
She opens her mouth to respond, but just then... the monitor inside the classroom turns on. It's at that moment that I suddenly remember. It's likely that I'm going to have to fight here. I'd forgotten about sensing about sensing that when I entered the room.
Aha! So that's where you got to, Sensei. I've been looking all over for you. Ooh, who's the honey? Were you in the middle of trying to score with her?
Good lord.
As if you didn't know. You're the one who lured us both here.
Oh my, did you figure it out? I didn't have a choice after those guys decided on their own to horn in on the fun. You're a bright boy, Sensei. You know what's coming next, don't you?
The general on the monitor gives me a twisted smile. Could Aiga-san's mission be something that would cause him trouble? I can't figure out what his motives are, but he's using us to crush each other. In other words, she's the next challenger that is being set against me. Aiga-san seems to understand this as well, and is staring at the monitor with a quiet animosity.
Sorry about this. Do you know the rule of this tournament?
Only the victor of each match may move on.
I have nothing against you, but I'm in a hurry for my own reasons.
Neither of us, in other words, can back down. Then there should be no hard feelings.
Aiga-san is refreshingly straightforward about this. She immediately takes a fighting stance. A bitter thought comes to me. It's tough being forced to fight my friends, but having to hurt someone that I don't even know is just as bad. Another thought comes on the heels of that one. I don't know this girl. What's her appearance here means there are urgent problems that an ordinary student like me can't fathom. What gives me the right to stop her on her mission? Shouldn't I know what's at stake before I take that from her? Thankfully, it seems that she hasn't gone mad like my other friends. Perhaps the enemy doesn't care about clouding the minds of people who don't know each other. If we're still capable of understanding each other, then we should talk this over before we do
That will
anything.
not do. We will speak more of this after one of us wins.
Aiga-san says this so quickly that as if she's reading my mind. For a moment, I'm struck by how she could have known what I was thinking, but I realize that she's right. What good would it do if I was to talk things over? Sure, the loser cannot leave this room, but until we have a battle, neither of us is going anywhere. It doesn't really matter if we can come to an understanding or not. Until we have our fight, none of our goals are going to be accomplished. If that's the case, then it's better if we don't hear each other's problems before we fight. That could be why Aiga-san hasn't told me anything. This must be her version of kindness. I silently ready my sword. Aiga-san appears to smile slightly when I do. Right. I'm not going to give up on what I'm fighting for either. I need Nanako and my friends to be safe. And I have to make sure that Ms. President is okay. I will use everything I can to protect them. To thank her for her consideration, I make it a point to announce that I'm ready to start the fight.
Here goes. There's no need to hold back.
Indeed. Let us do battle.
Alright, P3 best girl, let's go! This might be hard because she's a zoner.
Damage! Severe impact! Light damage! No! Severe impact! Severe impact! Heavy damage! Severe impact! Ready! Ejected! Throwing fire! Move down! Persona! Move down! Destroy threat!
Ow.
Persona fire! Down!
Good lord.
Severe impact! No!
That got a little dicey. Alright, before we resume bio break. I have returned.
Balaska junk was no match for you.
Well, thank you not to insult P3 Best Girl, thank you.
Serves you right. Keep suffering. Friend against friend, beating the heck out of each other.
A machine with the power of a persona. She was made to fight shadows, but I had no idea she was what she was capable of. I feel like my mind's being drained even more than my body. It angers me to see that the general is watching over us with an expression of joy, as if we were some performer as for this argument. I look up and glare at the monitor.
You're making us fight, but it's pointless. We aren't fighting because we hate each other. The reason we can fight is because we respect and trust each other.
A low growl. That's the only sound I hear. The real Teddy never made such a hateful sound. It's actually rather scary.
Stupid! You're such a dumbass! What's with you?
I think we broke it. The image on the monitor distorts along with that outburst. The general is having trouble remembering to act like someone else, and his face bulges and ripples distortedly as hate pours through the screen. Any pretense at copying the adorable stupidity of the real Teddy is gone now. I notice that the voice is spitting out these hateful words is not Teddy's either.
Trust? So what if you don't hate each other? You're not like me. I was forced to fight against my will. I destroyed them with my own hands. You should all have to go through the hell I've suffered. See how it feels to destroy everyone you call a friend. If I knew this was gonna happen, I would have made the rules so you had to kill your opponent to move on.
The general on the monitor continues to rage.
What are you talking about? Why did you set this tournament up?
The moment I say that, I feel that all the dots. I feel that all the dots have become connected. When Miss President had asked out of the blue if we were going to be forced to kill each other, that ominous muttering of killing one another. We were both something. Were those both something that had come directly from her past? Maybe she had been forced to fight against people she didn't want to fight. Had she been forced to destroy something that was? Had she been forced to destroy something that was precious to her? There's no way to know for sure, but it's possible. Considering this, it kind of explains why her shadow would have created a tournament like this. That is, she wanted us to feel what she went through. I might not be entirely correct, but I feel like I'm close to the truth. Should I just ask General Teddy about my suspicions? But as I'm considering raising my voice.
Pardon my eccentric entrance.
Hey, Elizabeth. Guys, I think she might be pissed that I forgot about rating her in my Rate the Super last week. Someone comes crashing through the ceiling. What in the world? I rush over to Aiga-san to protect her from the falling debris. Hey, Elizabeth. When I look up, I see a young woman emerge from the cloud of dust. While not as strange as Aiga, she seems a little uncommon as well. But even besides that, why did she have to come through the ceiling? Those were doors! It makes no sense at all. I was about to get to the heart of the matter with General Teddy, but the monitor in this room has been destroyed, along with the ceiling. Though she seems oblivious to my confusion, the girl cocks her head and apologizes again.
Oh, please Please excuse me. I didn't have the faintest idea that someone would be here.
Faintest?
Feigned? Fiend? Something along those lines at any rate.
By the way, super excited PlayStation Portable is getting released on PC. What the hell is she talking about? Who in the world is this person? Wait a second. That blue suit she's wearing, it looks familiar. And with that silver hair and golden eyes? Could it be?
From the Velvet Room?
My, is this what's known as being hit on? Forbidden ritual where one human approaches another based solely on appearance and bets on the inner self being equally attractive.
Yeah, sure, let's go with that.
What? No, I'm not hitting on you. You just remind me of someone I know.
Okay, so that actually sounded like Okay, so that actually sounded like I really was hitting on her. No, I need to stop thinking about that. In any case, I need to ask her
Do you
something.
happen to know anyone by the name of Margaret?
Margaret.
When she repeats the name, her face seems surprisingly useful. I've been taken aback by her bizarre speech and actions. But could this be? But could this girl be younger than me? I highly doubt it. Her profile simultaneously evokes the image of a pondering philosopher and an innocent girl. I can't figure out how exactly to speak to her. Should I be more polite? I guess it doesn't matter too much. Anyway, worrying about the nicety isn't the most important thing right now.
Actually, we should introduce ourselves first. I'm Yu Narukami.
Ah, that had slipped my mind also. My name is Elizabeth. Dear me, to hear that name fraught with memories in such a mundane, remote place.
She thinks of this world as a mundane place. That's confusing. But maybe out in the countryside, but I don't think it's as bad as people say it is. The girl, as Elizabeth, suddenly bows elegantly to me.
Margaret is indeed my sister's name. Can I take that to mean that you are another guest of that room?
I see. So she's Margaret's sister. That would explain why she reminds me of her.
Elizabeth-san, huh? Well, I guess that's the case. It's true that there was a time when I visited that room.
Igor, Margaret, and now Elizabeth. It seems there are more people who call that place home than I thought. I think I'm glad to meet Margaret last year instead of this girl.
Why is a resident of the Velvet Room here? Did Margaret send you with a message or something?
I am currently utterly neglecting my duties.
I love how he said that so excitedly.
Is that so?
That doesn't really tell me much, and I have no response anyway. So what possessed her to come blasting through the ceiling instead of using the door? I decided not bothering asking her that. I met so many different people all over the last year, but I'm trying to have a conversation with this girl. I met so many different people over the last year, but trying to have a conversation with this girl is like trying to ride a wild horse. Blech. She's just going to ignore the direction I'm trying to steer us towards and just veer off wherever she wants. Best to just hold on and go along for the ride then. Maybe if I pay attention, she'll tell me something worth my time. Even if I try to ask her any questions, she'll likely just be confused anyway. Just as I'm having that thought, the girl seems to have noticed my hesitation and starts to talk about herself. Starts to walk about herself? What? Her eyes are lit up with a sincere passion. She really is a hard one to read.
I have a certain desire. It may take a very long time for it to be realized. In order for my wish to be granted, I require a power much greater than what I have. The power of the wild card that changes bonds into strength. I have a feeling that the key lies there.
I know a little about the wild card, but
I feel that the first glue to granting my wish lies within that power.
glue?
Glue? Influenza. Something along those lines at any rate.
It's not along these lines at all! Give me a clue! She's having trouble coming up with the right words, but I can hear the sincerity in her speech. Probably. In other words, I think she means that the power of the wild card is related to her desire and came here. I don't think it's worth it to ask how she knew I had that power, or where she found out about it. Just as I'm struggling to follow the meandering path of her conversation, she brings up an outrageous suggestion.
Might I suggest that you and I fight?
What? Someone please tell me how she reached the conclusion that this was a good idea. I don't think I have a chance of talking her out of it, though. But of course I have to try, so I say...
Oh, how excited this is making me. My expectations are ascending skyward at Mach speed. To be direct, I'd like for you to show me the potential slumbering within you.
Oh, good lord. This is going to be bad.
Let me make sure of something, just in case. You understand what I'm saying, right? There's no illusions at work?
Such parlor tricks can get stuffed.
I see. So you're actually in your right mind here. That's kind of, impressive.
Just so you know, guys, if you're not familiar with the Persona series, is the Velvet Room attendants tend to be optional bosses, and they're the hardest fights in the entire game. Well, maybe she understood what I meant when I mentioned the illusions. If that's so, then she at least must have some idea what's going on around here. And even though she might understand it, she still wants to fight me. I wonder, though, if she's unrelated to General Teddy's plan and invited herself into the tournament, do the usual rules apply? As I think about this, Elizabeth-san taps her foot on the ground and takes a fighting posture. She really does want to fight. The huge leather-bound book in her hand opens as if by itself. A torrent of power pours from the open book with the blue light. Yeah, the book we saw Margaret wield, Elizabeth also has one. That's the Persona Compendium. And with that, she can use any persona. That alone should tell you that there's trouble. I can't believe that this strange girl has such unimaginable power. She seems so aloof. No, it may be more correct to call it an air of imminent violence.
All right. I won't be able to hold back.
Can't afford to hold back. Holding back means death. To be honest, I really only have... I was really only saying that in hopes of bluffing her. I have absolutely no room to hold back in this fight. I hurriedly cast off my fear and focus on the upcoming battle. There's no room for doubt. I need to hit her with my full strength from the start. Even if I were to fight and hit her with the intent of killing her, I'll be lucky not to end up dead myself. At least that's how I feel. Elizabeth-san calmly begins the battle.
Let's do this. Your fate is in the cards.
Oh, whoops. That should be here. And from what I hear, Elizabeth is a monster in this game. Make it make it. Let me get. Oh, I can't. Megalodon for everyone.
Please don't hold back. Impressive. Impressive. From this moment forward. Impressive. Well done.
Wow. My tactic of being aggressive worked. You get a CG for it. Just when I thought I'd managed to throw her off balance, Elizabeth's son gets back up and elegantly gets it back up elegantly, as if nothing had just happened. She is blocking my sword with her book. She is blocking my sword with her book. Let that sink in. Suddenly, I feel an intensity build up in the air. Don't tell me she hadn't been taken this seriously at all until now. Well, obviously she hadn't if I could perfect her. In the next moment, I'm swallowed out into a torrent of power, like a leaf being blown into the air, without the slightest understanding of what's happening. My vision blurred as I'm spun about, and before I can tell up from down, the floor jumps towards me, and I'm slammed into the ground. Am I going to lose? As my consciousness fades, I see the faces of my friends and Aiga-san. All those as I fought against up and all those I have fought up against and stuff until now. It's like that story that you see your life flash before your eyes just before you die. Am I dying? Can I really accept that? I'll fight as much as I have to in order to save my friends. I have to keep fighting. I've come so far, I can't lose heart now. I desperately force my legs to move and manage to stand up again. Elizabeth San shuts her book with an air of finality.
I see. I am quite content with this outcome. It seems you possess true strength.
Yet yielding torrent of power suddenly ceases without warning. Is it over? As I come to understand that, I continue to stand stock still, unable to move.
I believed you were at the limits of your stamina after the battle against Igus earlier. In actuality, your heart almost gave in during your struggle with me. But each time you faltered, the many hearts supporting you gave you strength, helping you to rise again.
Yeah, that's kind of how the wild card works. She cuts herself off and nods to herself, as if confirming some suspicion.
This was truly an intriguing battle. I believe our encounter has borne much flute.
Good lord.
Flute?
Flue? Chimneys.
Good lord. Fruit! You meant fruit!
In any case, I am quite pleased.
Make a delay on the Gaimasu. Gaizaimasu. I am sorry I completely butchered that. Even after a battle, she acts like that. I feel like a fool for believing that she really would have killed me, even if it felt quite real at the time. I can't believe any of this. My legs give out under me, and I sink into the ground. Maybe she understands how I feel. Elizabeth's son looked straight into my
May I
eyes.
ask you something? To continue fighting in order to prevent an undesirable future, it is a path of endless hardship. Would you still choose to walk it?
Margaret had said something similar just before this tournament had begun. How I had overcome the ordeal, how I had come to, bleh. How I had overcome the ordeal concerning last year's case, the open door, and opened the door. Margaret's and Elizabethson's word has come together in my mind.
Working for a better tomorrow isn't just a one-time thing. The tomorrows keep coming.
Well said. Opening the door is necessary, but it's not what's truly important. What's more important is making sure you don't follow the path that you follow the path that's beyond the door. I completely changed the context of that. Only once you have that path in mind does it matter whether you've opened the door or not. That's how I
I
feel.
will keep fighting for the future we want.
Elizabeth's son smiles. It seems the former dweller of the Velvet Room is pleased with my answer. She must have chosen a path of her own at some point, and is doing everything in her power to see it through. Maybe I'm jumping to conclusions, but I feel if I'm able to understand, and I feel as if I'm able to understand her a little better now.
Well then, it's time for me to bid you adieu. By your leave, I, Elizabeth, am out of here.
With this, Elizabeth briskly walks out of the room. She caused me some trouble, but I've also learned something about myself as well. I think I'll call it a draw. As I wave goodbye to Elizabeth, I hear Agus getting to her feet behind me.
Are you alright? You shouldn't force yourself to move.
Sorry. Getting to her feet behind me. I was concerned at first, but Agathon doesn't seem to be very hurt, or damaged, or whatever you would say. Because she's P3 Best Girl. She was likely just knocked out. I had absolutely no chance of winning if I'd gone easy on her either. This is getting ridiculous.
You are very kind. We've only just met, and yet you're worried about a machine like myself.
Spoilers, she's come closer to being an actual human than any robot ever.
Isn't that normal?
Agathon laughs at my confusion.
Seeing you smile like that, I don't know. I just can't think of you as a machine. You have a heart, right? Then it doesn't matter whether you're man or machine.
Agathon stops laughing and thinks deeply for a moment. But after a few seconds, she looks back at me with a serious look in her eyes.
You have defeated me in single combat. That will make it difficult for me to continue forward. But I believe I can trust you. Will you listen to my mission directive?
I have no reason to say no. I look at Agathon square in the eye and nod reassuringly. And so, Agathon told me about her directive. And it was truly surprising. There was another case involving personas and shadows outside of Inaba, even before our adventure last year. And she is a weapon with a heart, created with the express purpose of wielding a persona to fight the shadows. She believes that this current situation came to be because of someone. It came to be because someone had stolen a similar weapon and caused it to enter the world, the TV world.
There's another girl robot with a heart like you, and she's the cause of all this?
I wonder who that can be.
We came to this world to retrieve her. My older sister, the 5th generation anti-shadow suppression weapon, Labris, is in this world somewhere.
We have a name, people. Nanako, Miss President, her shadow, and now Labris. I have a mountain of tasks to accomplish now. But even though I have a lot to do, I can't ignore any of it.
Tell me more about Labris, and I'll do what I can to help you get her back.
Unfortunately.
Aiga-san's expression clouds. She said that she was a machine, but she really is no different from a human. As I ponder this, I listen to what she has to say. It's discouraging.
So you don't know what she looks like, what she can do, or what equipment she's loaded with.
Basically, all she can tell me is that Labras is a robot who's built to look like a girl. Wait a second. I did meet a girl I didn't know in the TV world. Miss President. Could Miss President be Labras?
Is there a possibility that she looks, well, more human than you? You mentioned earlier that she was your older sister, so I assume she was built before you, but...
My sister was an older model, a prototype for the 5th generation to be exact. It's doubtful that she would look more human than myself.
Then there's no way Miss President could be Labras. I could tell at first glance that Aiga-san was a machine. Miss President appears to be completely human. I never considered that she might not be human until just now. But that just makes things even more complicated. What in the world is going on inside this TV?
In any case, I'll keep an eye out for her. But right now, I'm heading to the announcement room. If Labras is the cause of this, then I'm bound to meet up with her eventually.
I shrugged slightly. I don't want to be so grave. I guess I'm a sense that I'm trying to do what I'm trying to do and smiles.
Thank you. I will trust my sister's fate to you.
Of course. I give Aiga-san a determined nod and run out of the classroom. But man, what a busy Golden Week. I have to make sure Nanako is okay, find Miss President, unmask whoever's masquerading as Teddy, and now search for Labras somewhere in here. If this wasn't happening, I'd be kicking it with my friends at the Junes food court. Yukiko was trying to be coy, but I'm pretty sure that big bundle she was carrying was a boxed lunch she made for us. As to how it might taste, well, let's not get sidetracked. I'm sure we'd all have enjoyed it anyway. Eventually, I would have called Nanako over, and we would have brought some snacks together. There were things I wanted to buy from the Shiroku store, and maybe I could have made it to Sozai, a Daigaku in time, and to buy the last of their special croquet. I wanted to talk to the owner of Daidara and get some books from Yominaido bookstore. By the way, yes, these are all real places within Persona 4. I'd have a steak bowl at Aya, hang out with the fox at the Tatsumi Shrine, waited for my uncle so we could have dinner, and tomorrow I'd have gone fishing. All things that can happen in Persona 4, by the way. If the one who ruined my vacation and caused all these problems is the same person who stole Labras, if they truly brought Nanako back into the TV world, I will catch them.
They're not getting away from me.
As I run on, I come across yet another blue door. Perhaps it's a sign that I need to calm down. True, I may have lost my cool for a moment.
Someone here? Again?
I reach towards the door with a relaxed smile. Margaret is in her usual position. I glanced around to see if there's anyone else in here. It looks like her nutcase of a sister is in here. Margaret notices me looking and smiles, a seductive sound that Margaret notices me looking and sighs, a seductive sound that also conveys annoyance.
It seems my sister has caused you some trouble. Though this may mean that I'm not the only one who is drawn to the light of your potential.
There's a hint of tenderness towards her sister in her words. Her sister must be important to her. I can tell from the look on her face. I do look like. Do I look like that when I talk about Nanako? Margaret pulls herself together and speaks again.
You have gained a new resolve by overcoming many doubts and falsehoods.
A new resolve. I find myself nodding
You
along.
have reached the threshold of truth. But man's hearts are mutable. That is why a resolve to continue fighting is more important than any one victory or defeat.
Yeah, I understand.
But this will be a difficult battle without end. Are you equal to the challenge?
The way she puts it makes it seem like she was as if she was testing me. I don't respond immediately and think about the question. It would be lying to say that I'm not worried. I know that my heart can be swayed by challenge and by change. There's no knowing what will happen from moment to moment. But even then,
friends, if I'm not alone, I can do it.
I see.
Margaret nods slightly in
I have
response.
heard your answer, but it's not enough. Remember what I told you before? The heart is shaken more by a single action than by 1,000 words.
As she smiles, my vision begins to blur. I hear words being repeated. I have reached the threshold of the truth. Everything that has happened during the course of the case runs through my mind. A new appearance of the shadow, the new appearance of the TV world, this tournament pitting us against each other, the student council president and a fake Teddy, my encounter with a weapon and with a heart, Aiga-san searching for her sister Labris, and the determination that I gained through these constant battles. What I must accomplish. How do I show that I have decided what I decided through my actions? It seems that the number of invisible walls has decreased. Could this mean that the end is near? Just as I think that, I hear a familiar voice. Hello. That was Miss President's voice. It was coming from the door to the announcement room. I finally made it. I opened the door to the announcement room and rushed inside.
You're finally here. Hello, Sensei.
Hello, not Teddy.
Congratulations! How does it feel to have won the P1 Grand Prix?
The general smirks at me as I pass through the door. Behind him, Miss President and Rise. When the two of them see me, Miss President looks confused, while Rise's face lights up with joy.
There you are, Senpai. You're late.
I have to stay cautious of the general, but I signal to the girls that everything will be alright. The general is closer to them than I am. I can't afford to make any reckless moves just yet. And there's one more thing I need to know.
Teddy, where's Nanako?
I look around the announcement room, but Nanako is nowhere to be found. The general's face distorts with an ugly glee.
Nana-chan's right here. See?
Slowly, the general extends an arm that was held behind him. And there was Nanako. Her arms are clutched to her chest, and she slowly takes a few steps towards me, obviously frightened.
Nanako!
After taking a step forward, I notice something bizarre. The general disappeared. For a brief instant, my full attention had been focused on Nanako. The general had been standing directly behind her, but now he's gone. How could he have gone somewhere else that quickly, right in front of me, without me noticing it?
Bro.
While I'm confused about the General's disappearance, Nanako weakly calls to me. Being in the TV world has obviously taken a toll on her. She totters towards me unsteadily, looking ready to collapse at any moment. I can think about the General later. I have to save Nanako right now. As I reach out to her, Rise yells, "Fun fact: Nanako was to be a playable fighter." Yeah, they were going to have Dojima as a playable character, and she was going to like summon Nanako with a persona. He was going to summon Nanako with a persona button. It was like an in-joke with the dev team.
Senpai, no! Nanako-chan's not there!
Nanako's not here? What is she saying? She's right here. Just as I'm about to say so, my hand stops. Something's not right. I tried to look at Nanako's face once more, and in her eyes, I saw madness.
Oh, so close! Just a little more and Sensei would have been a goner!
You bastard!
I barely reacted in time to draw my sword and block the attack. The General suddenly appeared out of nowhere to attack me with his cane, and I get a good look at him as our weapons clash together. I see the madness in his face, the same madness that I had seen in Nanako's only a moment before. That's when I noticed that Nanako has disappeared. What's going on?
Got it wrong, Senpai. It's all been him from the beginning. He can make whoever's looking at him see him as someone else.
So he's not actually taking on other forms?
Yep.
No, he's just distorting the things you see and hear.
That's right. The enemy is able to control what I see and hear. I realized that after all the battles I had had today, but seeing Nanako had made me forget all that. The General laughs at this.
It's hard for me to show someone who isn't here. But you actually saw this Nanako Pearl? You're hopeless.
Just like how my friends hadn't actually gone crazy before our fights, Nanako had never been brought into this world in the first place. The appearance before me is a fake. He distorted our senses all to make us suffer. But just as I thought, he couldn't deceive Rise's persona abilities. That's why he kidnapped her, to keep her from warning us during this tournament. Now that I know that... Fun fact, the English voice actors for Rise and Narukami are the same voice actor as that voice Sailor Moon and Artemis. Oh, interesting. Also, welcome to the stream, Ethical. I pushed in... now that I know that... I pushed the General's cane away and jumped back toward the girls in order to distance myself from him. Good. Now I'm between them and the General. Then I looked straight at the one behind this bizarre... I then look at straight at the one behind this bizarre situation.
Who in the world are you?
You still can't tell? Seriously, the level of intelligence around here. Fine then. Here. Get a good look.
Oh, crap. Poncho Teddy. My, don't you have a familiar face? That is so cool.
a shadow. The true self.
Yep.
That's my face.
I saw metal limbs, golden eyes, a ponytail, and a mirror image of Miss President's face, even though she was standing behind me,
How
trembling.
about it? You wanted to see what I am, didn't you? Why does she look like me? That's its true form. That thing is your shadow. This is a shadow? She really came from inside me?
Visay tries to calm Miss President, but the girl shakes her head in denial and squeezes her eyes shut. While Miss President refuses to look at this mechanical-looking being, I now understand what's going on. Because this isn't the first time I've seen a robotic girl before. All the facts match up. The way she was able to run so fast without so much as breathing heavily, even in the TV world. The sense of wrongness that I had when Miss President had asked me about killing my friends. The way she avoided telling me her name, that superhuman strength when she hit Chie, and that incredible jump to get away from us. And the Shadow's ability to interfere with the senses of other people. Just as Margaret has said, all the pieces to the puzzle were laid out before me. They've all come together, and now I can see the truth. She is indeed Labrys. Labrys, another weapon with a heart, stolen by someone unknown and thrown into the TV world, created the school and forced us to fight our friends. This deep-rooted depression regarding her past memories, all this took the form of Labrys' shadow. That should not be an apostrophe after that S. Who manipulated everything here.
Labrys, don't look away. If you don't accept her, she'll get even stronger.
Yeah, that is a thing. Miss Labrys only shivers when I call out to her. There has to be some reason why she believed that she was the student council president. But that's just a disguise. More for herself than for us. No matter how comfortable it is, as it's only there to cloud our eyes from the truth.
I don't know what your past was like. It must have had some painful memories. But you have us with you now. We're going to get you out of here.
I call out to Labrys while keeping an eye on the shadow. Shadow is the darkness within a person's heart. Unless it is accepted by the person it came from, it will never disappear for good. But with that in mind, all we can do is watch over her as she accepts this darkness within her. We'll have to protect her when the shadow goes berserk and tries to kill her. But Labrys continues to shake her head and tremble violently. My words aren't getting through to her.
You hear that, me? Your friend is trying to tell you something. Too bad he doesn't understand at all. His friends are so hopelessly naive.
The shadow laughs shrilly. It continues to smear more poison into Labrys'
I
heart.
wish I could have made them feel my pain. What it's like having to murder one another. That sadness and pain and anguish. Everything went black, and I was always left alone. I'm a weapon. A machine made only to fight. No human can understand my suffering. Stop! I've had enough. I'm human. I'm not like that.
This isn't good. I settle into a fighting stance, ready for anything, though I have a good idea what's going to happen.
Oh, you're still clinging to that? Then take a look at what you really are.
The shadow's eyes gleam with golden light. The change begins immediately. Yep. The shimmer runs across Labrys' body, and instead of the normal human girl there being a moment ago, she has a metallic body just like a shadow. Labrys loses all composure and scratches at her arm, trying to tear away the metal that had appeared. But there was more to her change than just her arms. Her legs, waist, chest, even her head. Everything not covered by her clothing was now obviously mechanical. The reality that she didn't want to face. There's no words we can say to her. No matter what we say, reality won't change. Labrys falls to her knees, and finally mutters the words I was dreading she'd say. Yep. It does that. Haha. Kanji's and Teddy's stories are now available. Okay, so how P4A's story mode worked is you basically go through alternate versions of the main story with each of the characters from their perspective. But these stories have cliffhanger endings. And you have to play certain stories to unlock all the unlock the full endings. So let's see. We need to clear a second character for our we need to clear a second character to unlock more, including some of the including the P3 crew. Yeah, that's all I'm going to that's all I'm going to reveal. So let's see. Oh wait, just checking. Okay, so we don't seem to have to go into one of the we don't seem to have to go into any particular story right now. So who shall we go for next? One of the new unlocks or one of the original crew? We can't complete Yu's story right now. Okay, I'm going to go for a quick bio break. While I'm away, you guys tell me what character you would like me to do next. Next, be right back. I return. Okay, so Yumu suggests that the next character I play is the one, is the one I like most of who we currently have. She's a little bit hard to use, but I'll go to Yukiko.
Oh, here. Yuki-chan, are you okay? Do you need any help?
Huh? No, it's okay. I want to do this by myself.
Are you sure? If you need a hand, don't hesitate to ask.
I smile back at our waitress Kasai and concentrate once again on slicing the carrot on the cutting board in front of me. It's pretty tough to cut. I am Yukiko Amagi. I am the only daughter of the Amagi Inn. Some people here call the inn a famous local landmark, but to be honest, that description doesn't really register with me. I think people only see it that way because there's nothing else that stands out in this countryside town. I'm getting training from Amagi Inn staff, but the food I'm cooking right now isn't for the customers. Actually, my cooking is, well, not so great. There's no way anything I made would be served here.
Good evening. This is the Evening Journal with news for May 2nd. Our top story is on the domestic airline that was hijacked yesterday.
Oh. Momentarily turning her attention away from the TV in one of the guest rooms, Kasai speaks with me. Kasai-san speaks with me.
Oh my, look at the time. Yuki-chan, don't push yourself too hard, okay?
Thank you.
The latter half of Golden Week starts tomorrow. I usually have to work through it since the inn is so busy during the holidays, but I've been given permission to take tomorrow off. And that's because Yukon is coming back to spend time here in Inaba. Yunaru Kami. He is a precious friend who transferred to Yasugami High here in Inaba last spring. He had to move back to the city after his parents returned from their jobs overseas, but now I finally get to see him again after 2 whole months. Just thinking about that news puts a smile on my face. People may think that I'm overreacting over just 2 months, but it still makes me happy. I mean, the year spent with Yukon was quite a special one for us. It sounds hard to believe, but last year we got wrapped up in a serious mystery, and that occurred in this town and insulted ourselves. The one who led the team we created then, the investigation team, was Yukon. Most of us who are in the investigation team are going to meet up for his return tomorrow. I'm already excited about it. Just as I begin to lose myself in these thoughts, an acrid burning smell stings my nose.
Oh, right, I was grilling the fish.
Oh dear. I hurriedly flipped the sea bream I left on the grill. It's still good, right? Yeah, it still looks good. I think it'll be fine, maybe. When I look inside the pot, a lot of the water is gone, but the ingredients I put there to boil look soft, so it should be okay. It's probably time to turn the stove off, though. I put on the finishing touches and finally take a
I
breather.
hope everyone likes this.
It's been a while since everyone in the investigation team got together, so I want to make it seem a little more like a celebration. That's why I began making this box lunch for all of us. But there's a lot more food to prepare than I'd expected. I have a new respect for our cooks. The number of guests we get here every day is way more than the amount of people I'm cooking for. They have to make a lot more food than I just did. I grabbed the largest tier liqueur box we have and struggled to cram all the food into it.
The presentation of the food is important, but I think taste should be a cook's priority. The boys will eat a lot. I'm sure Chie will too. I definitely shouldn't skimp. Mm-hmm.
She's right. Welcome to the to the stream, Deep Sea.
There, all done.
An email? Who could it be from? I opened my cell and noticed a familiar name being displayed. Just got back from and said I made nasi lemak, baby. I have a general idea of how to cook myself, but I don't particularly have the patience for it.
Oh, it's Chie. I wonder if she forgot where we're meeting up tomorrow.
Hold on, I forgot. Yeah, I read that. Chie Satonaka. She's been my best friend ever since I was little. She's also a member of the investigation team. We went through so much together during the course of last year's events, and now we're even closer than before. Sure enough, the email I received was asking for confirmation about our meeting place. Heck, she must have gotten so excited when she heard the news that she glazed over the details. That's so like her. But there was more to her email.
The Midnight Channel is on the air again.
The Midnight Channel. At midnight, it's on a rainy night. If you look at a TV that's turned off, if you look at a TV that's turned off, you'll see your soulmate. That was the urban legend that spread like wildfire in this town last year. Yeah, and we're seeing what was shown for her. At first, I obviously thought that it was just a rumor, but I was wrong. It wasn't some superstition. There actually was something to that rumor. When we tested it out for ourselves, we really saw an image appear on the TV, even though it was turned off. But it wasn't anyone's soulmate. The person that appeared on the TV was a victim. This is why the investigation team was formed. The phenomenon was closely tied to the incident that we resolved. In a nutshell, it was a series of murders. A few people died, and it was all over the TV news. That alone is already a serious case, but we discovered something even more shocking about it. There was a world inside TVs. Personas and shadows. We encountered so many unbelievable things that there's no way I could explain all of it. But everyone in the investigation team desperately did their best, and we managed to take care of everything. Even the Midnight Channel was shut down. So it's pretty strange that it's on again and all of a sudden. It seems she hasn't seen it in person yet, judging by her email. She just said, let's watch the Midnight Channel tonight. I glanced out at the small window in the kitchen. Today's forecast is rain. A perfect weather for checking the Midnight Channel.
That's not possible.
Words of denial tumble from my mouth. It's not that I don't believe Chie. It's just that I'm really, really hoping that it's not true. If the Midnight Channel is broadcasting again, are we going to see another series of murders? Those worries being gnawed away at my stomach. Blech. These worries begin gnawing away at my stomach. Standing up against my own rebellious shadow and getting to know everyone better through our adventures in the investigation team are important memories of mine. But this would be something different. Even as I send off a reply to Chie, my emotions are still running wild. I've got a bad feeling about
Oh,
this.
there you are. Someone's on the phone for you, Yuki-chan.
I'm so on edge that when Kasai-san speaks up, I jump a little. I feel like a fool. I'm all worked up over a mere possibility that something's going to happen again. I calm myself down and smile at Kasai-san. Though this is kind of odd.
For me? Who could it be at this hour?
He said he was Kujikawa-san's manager and he wanted to ask you something.
Oh boy. Rise Kujikawa. She's the underclassman from our high school. Not only is she part of the investigation team, but a famous idol and TV personality. Rise-chan took a break from show business while the investigation team was underway, but she has been preparing to get back into it since spring. She's been super busy lately. I have no idea why her manager would be calling me though. Kasai-san jokes that they're trying to recruit me and hands me the receiver. She then ducks back through the split curtain. This isn't helping that uneasy feeling that I was having earlier. I take a deep breath and put the phone to my ear.
Hello, this is Yukiko Amagi.
Oh, I'm sorry to call so late. My name is Inoue. I'm Rise Kujikawa's manager.
Yes, that's what I was told. How can I help you?
Well, you see, I can't reach Kujikawa. I was hoping you might know where she is.
Huh?
They don't know where Rise-chan is? Apparently she won't answer her cell, and isn't at her grandmother's place or her parents' home in the city. That is the end of my water. Her exhausted manager told me he was at such a loss that, out of desperation, she looked up our aunt's number and called me, since he knew that we were friends. I feel really bad for the poor guy, but
I'm sorry, I don't know.
the manager on the other side of the phone replies with a downcast I see. After he apologizes for calling me out of the blue like this, he ends the phone call, but not before asking me to keep Rise's disappearance under wraps. Even setting aside work, he must be worried sick about her. At least that's what he sounded like to me. The world of showbiz is pretty tough. Yeah, being an idol is very hard in Japan. Like, there's all sorts of pressure on you and stuff. This isn't the first time this has happened. Rise-chan went missing when she took her break last year, so Inoue-san must be afraid of going through that again. But that's the only reason that's the only reason I was able to get to know her.
Don't tell me.
The revival of the Midnight Channel, Rise-chan's sudden disappearance. My mind is a swirling miasma of depressing ideas and worst-case scenarios. Could Rise-chan have dropped into the TV again? I know that my tendency to immediately gravitate to the worst possibilities is a bad habit of mine, but I can't stop myself. I opened the cell to bring up my list of most cold contacts, but my finger stops when I see the name Yuna Arakami on the display.
No, I can't go running to him with everything. There's no proof that it's happening again anyway. I shouldn't make him worry.
No, it's definitely not happening again, no siree. We definitely didn't experience that in another story. There isn't any reason to be concerned about anything yet. Yukon is coming back for the first time in a while. After being away for so long, I want to welcome him with joy, not with unnecessary burdens. There's a reasonable explanation for everything so far. I need to keep my wild thoughts to myself until I have some real confirmation.
Risa-chan's number is...
I look for Risa-chan's number on my cell and then press the call button. 1 ring, 2 rings, 3 rings. No response. With each unheeded ring, my anxiety grows. Why isn't she picking up? Maybe she's in the area and with a bad... maybe she's in an area with bad reception? Or maybe she's in danger and can't answer the phone. No, I have to stop thinking like that.
Maybe I should call Yosuke-kun.
I press the button to end the call, as if my worries would end along with it. And I begin looking up another number. Yosuke Hanamura. He's another classmate and member of the investigation team, and also apparently Yukun's partner. At first I thought Yosuke-kun was just calling himself that, but it seems that feeling is mutual now. Considering that he gets along with everyone pretty well, he's got more friends than I do. He might know something about Rise-chan. Without any other leads, he's probably my best option. I dial Yosuke-kun's number. This time the call connects immediately. He must have answered his phone without even thinking about it. I feel a little relieved and speak up.
Yosuke-kun? Good evening, this is Yukiko. I got an email from Chie a moment ago.
Yeah, she told me too. About the Midnight Channel coming back, right? Sheesh, I bet she was half asleep when she emailed you.
There he is, the most popular fictional Yosuke. Indeed. Or as Twit Gamer likes to call him, Brosuke. Hearing Yosuke-kun's cheerful voice takes a bit more of my worries away. To avoid... oh, he's Brosuke, whoa, yep. To avoid causing panic, I try to choose my words carefully, and I relay what I hear from Rise-chan's manager.
Actually, I just received a phone call about Rise-chan disappearing. Well, not literally disappearing, but anyway, it seems her people can't get in touch with her.
Really? She didn't mention any problems she was having to you, right?
No, I think she would have told us if anything was troubling her. She was busy, but happy to be working.
Right. And now rumors of the Midnight Channel coming back.
Yeah.
I go ahead and tell Yosuke everything Inoue-san told me. I promised him that I wouldn't tell anyone, but I figure that the investigation team needs to know things like this. After all, Rise-chan has been through things with us that I'm sure she would have kept secret from her manager. After we talk about Rise-chan's disappearance, a slightly awkward silence falls upon the conversation. Has Yosuke-kun come to the same conclusion as I have? Before I can linger too long, Yosuke-kun breaks the silence with a serious yet cheerful response.
Let's not get carried away. First we need to see if the Midnight Channel's really back. There's no use worrying over things we don't know are happening. It's always important to be sure first, right?
At times like these it's times like these that I once again realize that my friends on the investigation team are wonderful. Yukun, who is calm and decisive, Yosuke-kun, who is always a source of good cheer, and it's not just the two of them. Everyone's personalities on the team complement each other, and because of this, we are able to overcome all the inconceivable obstacles that we faced.
You're right. Thank you, Yosuke-kun.
I thank Yosuke-kun and hang up. There's no use in getting flustered. First, we need to confirm the current situation, and then think of a plan based on what we learn and what we learn. This feels so nostalgic. A smile forms on my lips as my worry subside a bit. The lessons learned from last year are helping me now. The Midnight Channel airs at midnight. I've got a lot of time to kill until then. Oh, I know. I have to clean up the kitchen. I don't want to leave a mess for our cooks even when they arrive. For our cooks when they arrive in the morning. Sorry, I just saw my mouse is in the way. After I finish cleaning up the kitchen, I take a bath. After I finish cleaning up the kitchen and take a bath, I return to my room. I look at the clock. But it's not even close to midnight. I try to read a book, but nothing is sticking with me. It even feels like time is moving slower. I just want midnight to hurry up and get here.
It's all right. I'm sure things will be fine. Nothing will happen.
Yeah, nothing will happen. That's what this game is. Just a whole bunch of nothing happening.
Rivals. They are friends, yet powerful foes.
I don't think nothing's happening.
The desperate fighting program amongst high school students. A new legend is about to start.
May the manliest of all men come on down!
Nobody touches his precious Nanako, the sister complex kingpin of steel, Yu Narukami!
It's only natural.
Wage slave in the boonies by day, hero by night, Captain Resentiment, Yosuke Hanamura!
Everything that bores me has gotta go!
A spunky dragon with deadly legs, the carnivore who's discarded womanhood, Chie Satonaka!
You need to eat more meat!
Please escort me to the ring, my prince! The unconquerable Snow Black, Yukiko Amagi!
I'll finish you in one strike!
Blooming roses and bulging muzzles, the blood-curdling beefcake emperor, Kanji Tatsumi! Deep into realms of romance, the body of a child, the brain of a genius, the 2000 IQ killjoy detective, Naoto Shirogane!
Is this an army of idiots?
Fight and survive towards the one throne waiting at the end! The P1 Grand Prix where fierce fights will be fought! The battle begins tonight!
For the record, I'm not skipping these for the people who just joined in. The Midnight Channel, the Midnight Channel visits. Have you seen this man? I wouldn't be surprised if something like that happened. I sit in Juna's food court with the weight of my homemade box lunch and a heavy with the weight of my homemade box lunch and a heavy heart. Until yesterday evening, my only concerns for today were cooking enough food for everyone and worrying about whether June would be too crowded. A lot that has changed in those few hours. So instead of coming in here early to reserve space for my friends, space for my friends, and I'm here even earlier out of sheer stress. On a side note, sitting here right now makes me realize that there are a lot more people in this town than I ever imagined. And with that many people, quite a few of them probably saw the Midnight Channel broadcast last night.
Why is this happening?
I know that I'm not going to get an answer to that question, but I can't help but mutter it to myself as I sit and wait. It isn't the first time my image has appeared on the Midnight Channel. I heard about it from Chie the others last time, but I never seen it myself until now. No matter how hard I try to deny it, there's no doubt that it was me. They even gave me a ridiculous title, the Unconquerable Snow Black. What's that even supposed to mean? And, everyone else has got, nonsensical names too, but it's no laughing matter. Actually, I can't even remember what my friends were called. The only thing that registered was that all of them were pretty awkward. I was too stunned to catch anything more than that. When Shay called me afterward, as I finally came to my senses, the situation just seemed to be more serious than I had ever imagined earlier. Sorry. Especially considering that Rise-chan isn't the only one that we haven't been able to get a hold of.
Oh, you're early.
Good morning, Chie. I couldn't stop thinking about things, so I wrapped up my shift at the inn early and came here.
Just as my thoughts were getting gloomy again, Chie's cheerful voice is there to snap me out of my funk. I look up to see my best friend waving at me. Yeah, I shouldn't keep dwelling on these bad thoughts. It'll be okay. I'm sure we'll be able to handle this. I reassure myself to show Chie what I brought.
I actually made a boxed lunch for everyone. Let's eat it together later.
Whoa, a boxed lunch? You made it?
I shrug and give a wry smile at Chie's reaction.
Don't worry, I made sure to taste test it first, so it won't be like last year. I think.
Yeah, imagine if this was another turn of Mystery Food X.
Well, you've got a point. We don't want people to keep calling us poison chefs, do we?
Good lord.
Ooh, that does smell really good. Oh man, I can't wait to try it.
Hearing Chie's delight makes me feel a bit better. I wonder if everyone else will be as excited about my food as she is. Just as I'm thinking about how to bring it up, I hear a familiar cheerful voice from behind.
Hey there, sorry I'm late. I ran into this guy at the elevator.
Good to see you guys again.
Welcome back! We missed you! The guest of honor's finally here! You're looking well.
Welcome back. Should we...
It's Yosuke-kun it's Yosuke-kun and Yukun. Chie bounds off happily as can be, but I'm a little lost in my emotions. I wonder how much Yukun knows about what happened yesterday. Yosuke-kun is the first to notice what I'm getting at and casually transitions into the subject.
Oh, he already knows about the Midnight Channel thing. He's actually the one who called me up about it.
Oh, I see. This has turned into a pretty thrown-together reunion, hasn't it? But I'm glad you came.
Yukun smiles at my words. And, that kind of smile and calm demeanor, he hasn't changed at all. I'm happy, but there's definitely an elephant in the room. I wish that this could just be a fun get-together with us all getting together like normal people. My thoughts are interrupted by an exaggerated cough. It's Yosuke-kun. Apparently he was waiting for us to all sit down. After grabbing our attention, Yosuke-kun begins to speak.
Well, it sucks that we can't hang out more before jumping into another mystery, but to celebrate our partner's return, I hereby reinstate the investigation team in response to the Midnight Channel going back on the air last night.
Oh, the team is back! Just hearing that name again gets me all fired up. Yeah, let's do this!
I don't think the applause is necessary.
Yosuke-kun sarcastically teases us for applauding, but after glancing around at everyone, I'm sure we all felt that it was appropriate. I mean, there's no reason for any of us to turn that down. We have friends missing, and there's something causing trouble. Of course we're going to help out and get to the bottom of this. After confirming what and that everyone's on board, Yosuke-kun continues on. Our union is now a full-fledged tactical meeting of the investigation team.
I mean, this is no laughing matter. No one's heard from Teddy, Kanji, or Rise. Just those three, right?
Yeah. Oh, I got a hold of Naoto-kun, but I didn't tell her about this stuff. She told me she couldn't make it today because of her job, so I didn't want to worry her. She seemed pretty bummed that she couldn't be here too.
That makes 4 of our friends who aren't here today. Hearing it from Chie was one thing, but talking about it in a meeting like this and not seeing faces that should be here makes it all hit home. Even though there's no need to worry about Naoto-kun, what could be so important that she can't be here? We'll definitely find that out. She's such a skilled detective. It would be much more reassuring to have her around, but bringing that up to the group wouldn't help now. I need to focus on what all of us who are here can do.
One thing's been bothering me. The picture on the TV was very clear last night.
Yeah. Going by the pattern from last year, it wouldn't be that clear until after the victim entered the TV.
Hey, isn't this the first time a big group of people was shown together? Plus, we're still here. Why us anyway? And what's up with those insulting descriptions?
I can understand Chie's anger. From what she's told me, she tried talking to some girls who were chatting about the rumors, but they ran away from her. Definitely because they saw the Midnight Channel. I hated hearing the whispers of scoring princess under people's breaths. As after the Midnight Channel aired last year, so I can empathize with Chie's feelings. But I feel a little better about it this time. Back then, I didn't see the broadcast for myself, so I didn't know what I looked like. Of course, I still hate that I was on it again, and it's still really embarrassing.
What bothers me most is Teddy. He was acting like the host of that show.
Yeah, and we can't find him.
This smells fishy. Then again, I doubt he would play a prank like this for no reason.
I guess we'll just have to go inside the TV and find out what's going on.
Yosuke-kun has a point. If we want to investigate the reappearance of the Midnight Channel, it would be fastest to just go in there and see for ourselves. But
Won't we be stuck in there without Teddy to give us an exit?
exactly. We can enter TVs because we are Persona users, but without Teddy preparing a TV inside of the TV world for us to exit through, we'd be trapped there. Yosuke-kun laughs proudly in response of our shared worry.
Not so. I've had Teddy keep the exit TV out on that side.
Look at you, all prepared.
I mean, think about it. What if we were half asleep and fell into a TV when Teddy wasn't over there? Isn't that a scary thought?
Foreshadowing!
Like anyone would be that clumsy.
Foreshadowing!
Anyway, it sounds like it's safe for us to go investigate then.
Yeah, there's no doubt that something's going on in there. Is everyone ready?
We're all good to go. To tell the truth, I had a hunch that this was going to happen.
Everyone nods at Yosuke-kun's words. Oh. I forgot to mention the food I made. What should I do? Should I bring it up after we go inside the TV? Well, we're in the middle of a serious situation now, so this is definitely not the time for a boxed lunch. I'll bring it up afterwards. We'll all eat a great meal together after the case has been solved. It'll be the perfect motivation for us to solve it. As I got my resolve, Chie suddenly taps my forehead.
Nico, it'll be all right. You don't need to scrunch up your face.
Was I doing that?
Yeah, you're gonna give yourself wrinkles.
I'll be more careful.
Don't worry, things are different from the way they were last year. We're old pros at this.
She knows that I'm apprehensive, so she's trying to make me smile. But she is right. I shouldn't get myself too worked up. I smile in response to my best friend's thoughtfulness. And then we're off, following Yukun and Yosuke-kun.
It's a holiday, so the store's full of people.
Feel like things are picking up around town.
It's time to go. Hello. All the models are on sale right now.
You know, it's been a while since last time.
I'm a little nervous.
Whoa, wait! There are still people in this aisle!
Hey, get ready! The customers are going away!
Again.
Here we go.
Let's go!
Whee!
Isn't this different from usual? Oh no! What do we do? What can we do? We can't stop now!
It's going 3D on us! Curse you, 3D functionality. Okay, I think we got time for a scene, but we'll do the scene and then the fight. Uh-oh, gamers, we're going into Breaking Bad. We'll do the scene and then do the fight, but then I'll have to end. Then I'll have to end the stream. What happened? I was with Yukon and the others, and we entered the TV as usual. And then?
Where am I?
My mental fog cleared immediately once the cold sensation against my cheek and back kicks in. It doesn't feel like I'm hurt anywhere. I'm filled with confusion as I get up and look around, but looking around only raises further questions. The scenery looks familiar on a basic level.
Like an auditorium. Wait, is this our school's gym?
I know I'm the guy. Bleh. I know I'm the guy. What? I know I'm in the gym at high school. Well, however, the details are completely different. There are mounds of chairs stacked in weird formations everywhere. And everything feels a bit creepy. Someone messed up big time on their chair stacking duties. Then I noticed that something even more important is amiss.
Where's Chie? Yukun? Hello? Isn't anyone around?
I don't see any of them, and no one replies to my inquiries. It seems like we've gotten separated. Only when we enter the TV. Usually, when we enter the TV together, we all end up in the same place. 8th graders always get lazy with the stacking because they want to get home early. So much hate. All of a sudden, something started gushing out. Smoke? It's white smoke, like you see on TV and movies. I take a defensive stance and prepare myself. Considering that I'm inside the TV, I need to be ready for anything. I feel isolated and lonely, but I'm an important member of the investigation team too.
Hello! Sorry for the wait. Greetings, boys and girls of Yasogami. The P1 Grand Prix is about to begin.
Whoa! Like I heard a voice. I heard a voice behind me. And I turned to look to see if one of my family he was calling me.
There's no need for manners or courtesy or anything today, so let it all hang out. Tell us how you really feel.
Is that Rise-chan?
Rosette will be your commentator. But first, the General has a few words for you all.
Actually, depending on how long this takes, we might not even be able to get to the battle. Rise-chan was inside the TV too, but something about her seems odd. Despite my perplexity, the big monitor on the stage in the gym turns on when Rise-chan's voice gives the cue. What appears on it is an oddly dressed.
Teddy?
You're all here now. Well then, I'm proud to announce the opening of our very own P1 Grand Prix!
P1 Grand Prix? Wait, that sounds familiar. It's the name of the program that aired on the Midnight Channel last night.
Where's that cheering coming from? Was it just a sound effect? I don't see anyone here.
But ignoring that for the moment...
Yuki-chan, you still haven't figured out what's going on? Should I give you a special deluxe smooch to wake you up?
Good Lord, Teddy.
Huh?
Daddy, those clothes!
Yep, that's Yukiko.
I'm sorry, but every time I look at you, that hat, it fits you.
I saw it once already on the TV yesterday, but I still can't stop laughing. I'm dying here. I've never seen a gigantic hat like that sold anywhere. Just too funny.
What's so funny? Are you sure you want to keep laughing like that? If you keep it up, you won't be able to reach your most cherished thing.
It's just that outfit. My most cherished thing?
That's it. I'm angry now. If you won't listen when I tell you things, you'll have to find out the hard way. Bring out the next opponent!
It's no use. It's still funny. I'm gonna die. My eyes are tearing up and my abs are hurting from laughing so hard. But then smoke starts pouring out again. Once the smoke clears, I see Yosuke-kun. That finally puts an end to my laughter.
Yosuke-kun, I'm glad you're okay.
Of course I am. Now let's just hurry up and do this. I'll take this opportunity to overcome the Amagi challenge in a different way.
What? I don't understand what Yosuke-kun is saying. He's not making any sense.
I'm sorry, I don't understand.
Isn't it pretty late to be getting cold feet? You're killing the mood here. Hurry up and get ready, Yukiko. Just to be clear, I'm not gonna go easy on you.
Yosuke-kun, what's gotten into you? Don't tell me you really want to fight. Can't you see what kind of mess we're in? We really need to get our act together.
Upon hearing my words, Yosuke-kun's face contorts as if he thinks I'm being a wet blanket. It's giving me goosebumps. He's never looked at me like that before.
Yikes! Yep, sure enough, Miss Goody Two-Shoes ruins a moment again. You're always like that, you know? Always just going with the crowd.
Huh?
Oh, sorry, that wasn't it. I meant to say you just jump on whatever the easy way out is.
That's not true.
You said you thought things over and decided to take over the inn, but I bet you came to that conclusion the same way.
I can't come up with a response to Yosuke-kun's words. Saying I'm just jumping on the easy way out. It's true that during last year's incidents, I realized there was a part of me that just wanted to escape from everything. That I despised being seen as nothing but the daughter of the upstanding traditional family that runs the town's inn. But in the end, I made up my mind and followed my family's footsteps, after all. I was able to defeat those inner thoughts thanks to Yukon and everyone else. Yosuke-kun and should know that. He was there. So why?
You tried to act all high and mighty by saying you were determined, but you were just trying not to rock the boat. It's too much trouble thinking on your own, so you closed your eyes to everything. Isn't that right, Miss Goody Two-Shoes?
Jeez. This isn't reality. This is the TV world. I thought Yosuke-kun's shadow might have come out again, but he doesn't look. He doesn't look like one. His voice and eyes are the same as usual. Even his smile is the same. It's Yosuke-kun, the same one who's always chatting away cheerfully in the classroom. But that's...
Now there's something you don't see every day. What are you thinking so hard about, Yosuke?
What was that supposed to mean? But it's nothing.
What? Come on, you can tell me. Here, I'll help you with whatever it is. Huh? What's this piece of paper?
Hey!
Chie's swipe is much faster than Yosuke-kun's shocked, spastic attempt at defense. This is...
Oh, this is for our guidance counseling.
Hey, don't look at that!
Oh, so you're having a hard time deciding on your future.
Can it? Anyway, what about you? Come on, Chie. Knowing you, it must be something incredible, right?
Yosuke-kun snatches the blank glance counseling form back from... Yosuke-kun snatches the blank guidance counseling form back from Chie's hands and lashes out at her. Unfortunately for him, she answers with no hesitation.
Ha ha ha! Very funny. I'm all set on what I want to do.
That sounded like you meant it.
Did you think I was lying? That's pretty rude, you know. I'm totally serious about it.
Seriously? What about you then, Yukiko? Are you gonna take over the inn after all?
I nod in response to the question as the conversation shifts to me.
That's the plan. I gave it a lot of thought, but in the end, that's what I'm going with.
Does that make me the only one still undecided? It's impossible. But man, that's amazing, Yukiko. Next to Chie and her whatever pops into my head, I can tell you're set on this.
Hey, what did you just say?
Those memories of Yosuke-kun supporting my decision so enthusiastically make my shock in this moment even greater. Is that how you really feel? That I'm just taking the easy way out?
No, it's not an easy way out.
Sure, fine. It's useless talking about it. An idiot like me wouldn't understand what a goody two-shoes like you thinks. Let's decide this with an easier way. Come, Jiraiya!
Well, Yosuke-kun summoned his persona. A persona and a shadow are one and the same, so they cannot coexist at the same time. In other words, the one standing before me has to be the real Yosuke-kun. Any hope that this isn't and really him has been shot down. The words hurled at me a moment ago bury themselves deeper into my chest. I want to talk things out with him, but it doesn't seem like he's willing to listen right now. And then...
Come, Konohana Sakuya.
I'm not just going to stand here and take this. I need to figure out how the others are doing. So I need to fight and win for now.
Well, here goes the first battle. Captain versus Snow Black is about to begin. Who will Lady Luck smile upon? I'm as curious to find out as you are, dear viewers.
I think we got time for the battle. But after that, I have to end the stream.
Final. Fight.
I'm waiting you.
Just getting started.
One step away. Will that be enough? On the time. He's focused. He's focused. Can they turn this into a victory?
Ow.
The opponent's still standing.
Reaper has no mercy.
All right.
My bitch slapped him into the feet. Okay, that was quick, but we don't really have time for the scene after. I'm already kind of pushing it.
Persona 4 Arena.
Whoops.
Persona 4 Arena.
Okay. You're welcome, DC. So thank you all for joining me for the stream. I'll be back to the regular times tomorrow. I was streaming for 3 hours to catch up for last week. So if you enjoy my stuff, please check me out. Please leave a follow if you haven't already. You can also catch all my stuff on YouTube, though I should be able to VOD soon. I'm going to start that with my next full-length series. I've also got my own Discord, so please be sure. If you enjoy my stuff, please join if you're so inclined. I'm also on Facebook and Twitter. Just before you go, looks like Moo is streaming. I see. He's doing farming on it and FGO. Well, I'm going to perform a raid on him for you guys. He's been very supportful for me being for my he's been very supportive of my becoming a VTuber, so I'm going to help him out too. Not that he needs much help, but still. In any case, thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you all for the next one. This is Metis Balaska, signing out.